welcome to Billy Fitzgerald Golf. And tonight I want to talk about the biggest killer of our athleticism, and that's tension. So tension, just like in any other sport, does not allow my body, my wrists, my arms to function correctly. So we're going to go over a couple of things that can help you hopefully relieve that tension, and maybe some thoughts that'll help you with your golf game. So the first thing I'd like to start out with is if I just hold my golf club in these two fingers here and I just make the club go up and down, and I kind of twirl it around almost like a baton. Okay, so I can feel the weight in this golf club. I can feel the head of the club. It's really important because that's exactly what I want to feel when I swing a club. So and I'm doing a lot of the things that I would do when I swing. So I'm going to direct the momentum up, and as the club reaches its apex up here, it falls back behind my hand, and it actually gains speed without any effort from me. Now, if I start to gain a little bit momentum, the club starts to go a little bit faster. But you can see how my arm and my wrists and my shoulders, they're all nice and free and soft. I don't have a lot of effort going on, but again, I've got a lot of freedom in this golf swing. So go ahead and try this with these two fingers and let the club go up and down and up and down. That's a lot what I want to feel when I'm actually swinging the golf club. Now, one thing that I did mention is that I can feel the head of this golf club. Now, this is a sand wedge, so it's going to be the heaviest club in my bag. So this would be a good one to start out with. But what I'd have you do is grab your golf club and hold it up in front of you. Okay, so you've seen a lot of good players that do a waggle. The reason that they're doing a waggle is because they're trying to identify the face of this club. Even though my hands are holding on to it by the grip, here, I've got to feel and be aware of the face of this club. So that's why, again, we go right into grip pressure. Grip pressure is extremely important. Now, my hands are going to have a little tension because they're holding on to the club and they're directing and they're moving the weight in this club. But my wrists and my elbow and my shoulder, see, they've all got to be soft like I would throw a ball. So my arm has to be able to work in its shoulder socket. On both sides of my swing, my elbows have to be able to fold. My wrists have to be able to hinge and unhinge. And if I'm so tight and locked up, all of a sudden I can't do any of those, and now I have to turn my body, and I've got no speed in this club. So we've got to be careful about what we're feeling and what we're doing before we hit a shot. That's why you see so many good players trying to waggle, or they waggle. They're not really sitting still before they go to hit the shot. So again, we've got to feel the head of this golf club. My hand's going to have a little bit of tension, but my arm is going to be pretty soft. So to feel that, I would hit some one-arm shots. Left arm only, right arm only. So I'll take this golf ball here and I'll line it up with my right shoulder, and I'll just make the club go back and forth, back and forth. That brings me into my next point. I never teach hit down into the ball or down into the ground, because the weight of this club, guess what? This club wants to go down. So it leads me into, again, one arm only shots. I can feel the weight of this golf club, and I can feel when the head of the golf club gets down to the ball, how it pulls on my arm. That's enough for me to bottom the club out. I don't want to be getting here and slamming the club into the ground. It's going to be too steep and there's going to be too much force into the ground. So when I swing, I line the ball up and I just run the face into the ball. I can feel the head of the club and I just run the face into the golf ball. Now, again, it wasn't a lot of effort. My arm felt fairly soft. I could feel the weight of the golf club and how it went into the ball. I can do it with my left hand only. Okay? So again, line it up with my left shoulder. I let the weight of the club go right down into the ball. So I'm really not damaging the turf very much. I can hear that golf ball hit right in the center of the face. Again, my effort level is very down, so there's not a lot of effort that's going on with that. So as we get into the setup, so we've got your grip and grip pressure. Again, feeling the head of this golf club. We hold it by the grip. We need to feel the head of the club. Now, I will say before we move on is that you can have too light of pressure. So that's why I said you've got to have a little bit of pressure in your hands, but we can also go on the other side of the spectrum where I'm not holding onto this club very tightly. In other words, see, I've got holes in my grip here. I don't want to do that. I need to have a secure fit in my grip so I can feel the head of this golf club. Now, how I grip it is going to have, you know, a big weight of how much tension's in my hands, because another thing that causes tension, what causes tension is this face twisting over and twisting in my hands. So I've got to put my hands on the club right and the fingers over. This hand goes on the side. So when my swing goes back and forth, my right hand is able to go back and forth. There's no twisting. Twisting of this face back and forth, again, is going to put pressure in my arms. So if we were to go to the setup and set up to your golf ball, again, get your grip on there. Another thing that I see is so much pressure in your shoulder sockets and so much pressure in your arms before you go ahead and hit your golf ball. So if I were to set up to this ball, this is what I call the shaft test when I've got a student of mine and I know I can see the pressure in their arms, I can see it in their shoulders, and they're set up to the ball. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and grab onto the club right here, and a lot of times I can't move this thing worth anything because the arms and the shoulders are so locked up. Again, we need to use those. So a good test for that, set up to the golf ball. If I can't put the butt of this club into my stomach with ease, so how do I test my shoulders? I pull the club up and down. See, if my shoulders weren't very soft, there's no way I would be able to move that club. So we've got grip and grip pressure. Feel the head of the golf club, your arms, your shoulder sockets. All this needs to be able to be free, to be able to make this golf club, the weight of this club, swing back and forth. Again, just like I explained at the beginning of the video, this is what we want to feel right here when you swing the club. Okay, so lastly, we'll go to L to L, or the hinging of the club. So I've got that's kind of the final test. I've got the weight of the golf club in my hands here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go L, weight of the club down here. So now I've got to be soft enough to create these angles. I've got to have the right grip so my hands work correctly. L, hit to L. I've got to be soft enough in the weight of the club so the weight of the club can rehinge over here. It's a lot like if I took these two fingers and I created this angle, I let the weight of the club come down, hit, and rehinge over here. That's what I'm feeling. Again, not much effort going on my part. I'm directing the head of the club a lot like this. My L to L feels a lot like this. So again, we'll make a practice swing, L to L. I'm just directing the momentum of the club. So again, I go L to L, just directing the momentum of the club. So again, I would do your one arm only drill. I would do your left and right arm only drill. I would do this with the head of the golf club. Okay, feel how soft you got to get in your arms here. Go ahead and make sure that grip is right. We've got our weight of the club here. So we're going to do a little waggle, find the head of the golf club. Okay, now I've got to do my shoulder test, right? Then I'm just directing the weight of the club. I go L to L, right? I mean, I hit that ball, that's an 8-iron. I barely hit it. It went 120 yards. So again, some of what we're trying to do is we don't have to have a lot of strength to hit it very far. What we do need is some freedom in this golf club. Again, if I'm so tight that this club can only go as fast as my body, it doesn't matter how strong I am, I'm never going to hit it anywhere. So make these things in a point to make sure that you're correcting on all of these. So you make sure that you're not tight in your hands, your wrists, your arms, your shoulder sockets, so we can get this golf club moving and you can go out and enjoy some tension-free golf. Hi everyone, like and subscribe to my channel, Billy Fitzgerald Golf, for all tips on golf. If you'd like a live lesson or want to send me a message, visit me at billyfitzgeraldgolf.com.